Welcome to this week's Kline May Corner.
Last week on the Kline May Corner, we started talking about the home inspection process. And we talked a little bit about the inspection itself, what the inspector does, and what kind of report the buyer gets at the end of that process. Once that buyer gets the report, typically they have the right to negotiate some repairs. In most real estate contracts that we see in this area, the home inspection is built in as a contingency, meaning it's a condition. A satisfactory inspection is a condition that needs to be met in order for the buyer to move forward. If there's some things that the buyer is not satisfied with in the inspection, often they have the right to negotiate with the seller in getting some of those repairs made. Where we sometimes run into a problem is where there's a misunderstanding or a difference in expectations between the buyer and the seller about the kind of repairs that can be asked for. The contract is very specific, saying that the things that can be negotiated need to be material defects. So these are items that would cause a reasonable person not to want to buy the house. Serious issues. Contract specifically excludes things like matters of preference and cosmetic items and older systems that are still functioning but might not be up to code if the house were built today. So as long as the buyer and seller are clear on those expectations and only the appropriate things are being negotiated, often it works out very, very well. The seller can make the repairs. Often a credit is issued from the seller to the buyer, and then the buyer can make the repairs on their own. And sometimes if the repairs aren't that significant, the buyer can choose to move forward anyway. Always ask your agent the best way to move forward with this. It's a very important part of the negotiation, but doesn't need to be difficult.